What's up guys, welcome back to Finance to Fly. My name is Luke and I'm here to help you elevate your travel while minimizing your spending. Today we're going to be reviewing the newly refreshed, newly revamped Chase Sapphire Reserve card. To start things off, it's got a whopping $795 annual fee, while the sign-up bonus is on the screen now. Earnings rate, it has a bunch of different earnings rates. To start things off, it's got 8 points per dollar spent on all things in the travel portal, 4 points per dollar spent on hotels and airfare booked directly, 3 points per dollar spent on dining, 1 point per dollar spent everywhere else, 5 points per dollar spent on Lyft through 2027, and then 10 points per dollar spent on Peloton up to the first $500 spent. Wow. This card has a lot of perks coming at it. A lot of new perks, a lot more credits, a lot of things you got to cover on this card. To start things off, we're going to start with the travel perks and then work our way down. It comes with two $250 credits towards bookings made with the Edit hotels that are through Chase's travel portal. They're similar to Amex's Fine Hotels and Resorts, and you still get the same benefits as it. It's just under the Chase name, and you get two $250 credits. These are biannual, so it is from January through June and then July through December. Then you're going to get a $300 credit towards anything in the travel category. You're going to get Points Boost, which is removing the set 1.5 cents per point in value that you get through the travel portal to make it more dynamically priced between 1 and 2 cents per piece, just depending on the class of service you are booking and stuff like that. You're going to get your TSA pre-check global entry credit. You're going to get your priority pass with access to Chase lounges, IHG Platinum Elite status. You're going to get access to the Reserve Travel Designers, which all it is people that are going to help you book your travel. And then you're going to get high-end purchase and travel protections. Moving on to dining, you're going to get two $150 credits at Reserve tables. These are biannual, so January through June, July through December. It is $150 if you book a certain table at a certain restaurant. There's only about 275 of them, but you're going to get that $150 credit when you pay with your card at that restaurant. Moving on to the lifestyle credits, you're going to get $250 to go towards Apple TV Plus and Apple Music. You're going to get the $120 complimentary DoorDash subscription. You're also going to get $25 in credits a month through DoorDash. $5 of that will be for food and restaurants. The other $20 will be in two $10 credits for retail and grocery purchases. You'll also get $10 monthly Lyft credits for a total of $120. $120 towards Peloton memberships throughout the year, and then two $150 StubHub credits, which are biannual, so January through June, July through December. And then after you hit $75,000 in spend, you're going to get IHG Diamond Elite status, a $500 Southwest credit, Southwest A-List status, and then a $250 The Shops credit. So what is this card worth? That's a lot of perks we have to cover. We have a lot more to go into it. Why I think I value it. It's a little bit less than what they marketed at and stuff like that. So what is this card worth? Well, first we're going to put this $795 up on the top right, and then you got the travel credits. So we're going to start off with the Edit credits. I think these are pretty easy to book. You're going to be able to book these twice a year or biannually. You're going to get $250 back each. Yes, it's kind of a pain in the butt to book through the travel portal, but if you're booking luxury hotels, you're also going to get that 8 points per dollar spent when you book through the travel portal. So why not get that 8 points per dollar spent, the $250 credit, the $100 on-site credit, breakfast for two, late checkout, standard room upgrade if available, stuff like that. It's kind of got its perks, especially if you can book this for like maybe a long night stay or whatnot. It can save you some money, so I do value for these two credits at $500 total. Next up, you have the $300 travel credit. This is pretty easy to use. This is going to be $300 right off the bat. Anything you purchase in the travel category, you're going to get that back. That's really nice, really simple to use. Put the $300 on the screen now. Next up, we're moving to the dining credits. You're going to get $150 biannually. Is it really worth it? I'm not sure. There's only 275 restaurants listed currently with Reserve tables, so I'm not sure how much value it is right now, especially because a lot of those restaurants are specific to certain cities, stuff like that. Any of those restaurants in your city or any of the cities you're going to don't have any of those restaurants that you're going to actually be going to. Sure, it's nice if you live in Los Angeles, New York, Miami, stuff like that. You can go get a nice nice meal. But other than that, it's really going to be very niche to those people that live there or actually go to those restaurants once in a while. For that reason, I'm going to only give it $150 in value, just because for a lot of people, you don't live in cities near those restaurants, and maybe you don't even go to that restaurant. Maybe you'll go to it once, but maybe you don't want to go to it all after that. It's kind of a good credit for those that do live in those cities and do travel to those cities a lot. For those that don't live in those cities and don't travel a lot, probably not the best for them. Next on to the lifestyle credits, you get the Apple TV Plus and the Apple Music subscriptions. This is covered completely. It's pretty nice perk. It should be valued at the full $250 just because it's super easy to use. Maybe you do have Spotify. Well, guess what? You got Apple Music for free now, so why don't you switch over? I mean, it's saving you $100 or so a year. It's pretty nice. Plus, you get Apple TV Plus for free. I'm sure you got something that you want to watch on TV there. Overall, pretty good perk on this card. Then you're going to get the DoorDash credits. Starting off with a subscription, you're going to get that $120 in value, and I think that's in full value there. But then you have the $25 monthly credits split up into 3 different credits, a 5, a 10, and a 10. Overall, I think these are okay. I mean, it's nice that you get $5 off on your food order, but I don't think that's going to make me order from DoorDash. You're going to get $10 off your retail order or your grocery order. It just doesn't make sense for me to go ahead and order that when I can just go there, drive there 5 minutes later, I have it, and go ahead and spend less time waiting for it than I would have if I ordered it through DoorDash. Overall, I think you get about $10 a month in usage out of it, so I'm only going to put $120 in value on the credits. Next up, you do have the $10 monthly Lyft credits. This is pretty easy to use. They're in-app, so it's not that difficult. Amex has Uber, Chase has Lyft. I would use this if you have Lyft. Lyft sometimes is even cheaper than Uber, so it's a nice credit to have, especially if you do travel once a month. Maybe you need to get a Lyft from the airport or from your hotel to a restaurant. Something like that. Good little perk to have. I do like this, so I'm going to value it at $120. Next up, you have the $10 monthly credit for Peloton. And while I think this is nice, it doesn't even cover the basic smallest cost of your subscription with Peloton. The subscriptions start at $13 and end up at $44 for Pelotons per month. Because it doesn't cover it, I think it's kind of a waste of a credit, because why would you pay $36 a year for this Peloton membership if you've never used it before? Why would you start paying for it now? I think if they would have covered at least the basic membership, it would have been a little bit better, a little bit more valuable, but you're just paying money to Peloton at this point. You do get pretty much 80% off or whatnot, but still, I don't think it's that worth it. So I'm only going to give it $30 in value, because maybe you do have a Peloton and it does knock $10 off your subscription, which would be nice. Last but not least, you're going to get $300 in StubHub credits. I think these are pretty unique. I think a lot of people do go to sporting events, concerts, stuff like that once every 6 months. So I think this is actually a pretty solid credit. And I do want to give it the full $300 because at least in my experience, I do go to the sporting events once every couple months, or a concert, something like that. I can get the tickets for pretty much free with this credit. It's pretty nice, so I'm going to put the $300 on the screen. So in total, there's around $1,870 in value where I see value on this card, which is $1,075 more than what the annual fee is. It is less than the value that they market at of $2,700. Next up, we're going to do some redemptions. We're going to do it a little bit different this time. We're not going to talk about cent per point. We're just going to show you some redemptions you can make with your points. I don't want to focus on cent per point on this one, just because maybe you do have a redemption in mind, a specific route, a specific itinerary, or a specific vacation, something like that, but it doesn't have a good cent per point value. You can all get the best cent per point in the world. You can get 10 cents per point, 20 cents per point, 100 cents per point, all that stuff. The most important redemption comes down to is the one that you enjoy, you are happy with, and you can take on that trip. So I just want to show some examples of where you can use your Chase points. And on this first redemption, we're going to show you an example of a flight from Newark to Porto, Portugal on a one-way business class ticket through TAP Portugal. Normally this will cost around $2,300, but with points, you're only going to spend around 89 to 90,000 points in business class when you book through JetBlue on TAP Portugal's metal. It's a pretty nice redemption, good way to get over to Europe in business class. Next up, I wanted to go with something a little bit different. We're going to fly from Rome's airport all the way down to Perth, Australia in Qatar Q Suites Qatar's business class. This is going to have a stopover in Doha, and for this total trip in business class, it's only going to cost 180,000 avios, or would cost you over 4,000 euros for this one-way itinerary. Overall, maybe you are based in Rome, or maybe you're flying through Rome and you need to get back to Australia. This is a good way to get back there in business class, save you some money, save you some time, and save you some stress of flying economy or figuring out how you're going to pay for it. Just use your points. Last but not least, least, we're going to take a trip down to Punta Sam in Cancun, Mexico. We're going to go redeem with Hyatt at the Secrets Playa Blanca. And this is all-inclusive and adults only, by the way, but a standard roommate only costs 55,000 points. Meanwhile, it's well over $1,600, almost $1,700 per night for the same room. Overall, it's a really good way to use your points. I mean, that's over 3 cents per point in value. If you're looking to use your points at a hotel stay, this would be a good redemption. Obviously, you can get half a cent per point and it'd still be a good redemption. It just depends on what you want to do with your points. So now moving on to my thoughts and who this card is for now that the refresh is live and the changes have been made. To start things off, the annual fee is massive. This is a travel card, but you don't need to pay $795 in annual fees to travel. I mean, for example, you can definitely get a round trip ticket anywhere in the US for $795, or you can even get 2, maybe 3, depending on where you're flying and where you're flying from and what time of the year you're flying. But that's the cost of a plane ticket, or 2 or maybe 3. That's a huge annual fee you have to be paying for this card. Sure, you do get credits, but that's 92 credits you have to keep track of throughout the year. 92 is a lot of credits. Sure, you can earn it all back through the 2 stays with the edit and the $300 travel credit, but why don't you keep that cash in your pocket? Then you can choose exactly what you want to do with that instead of having to spend it either through the travel portal, through the edit, or with just travel purchases. Moving aside the annual fee and the credits, you have an awesome 8 points per dollar spent on everything booked through the travel portal, and then 4 points per dollar spent on hotels, airfares, unlimited, and then 3 points per dollar spent on dining. Earnings rates alone on this card are really good. I would say it's almost better than the Platinum, if not better, just because the Platinum is a base 5 points per dollar spent on flights and hotels. Meanwhile, this one has 8 points per dollar spent through the travel portal, 4 points per dollar spent on hotels and airfare, then 3 points on dining, which is huge. I think that's a really big differentiator on this card, and it makes it card pretty decent. And then not to mention, if you do have to use a rideshare app, you get 5 points per dollar spent on Lyft. You put all that together, you get this Sapphire Reserve card that is now closer to $1,000 than it is $500 in annual fee. It is the highest priced premium travel credit card on the market. Is it really worth it for that $795 fee? I'm not so sure. If you just go look to the Amex screen, you can get 3 points per dollar spent on all travel purchases, all transit purchases, and all dining purchases. That pretty much covers all the categories that the Sapphire Reserve has, just at a lower value, but you also only pay $150 in annual fee. You're also keeping track of 91 less credits. The downside is, though, the Chase Sapphire Reserve has some pretty awesome travel protections if you were to get in trouble. Amex Green does not. When you're putting this card into your card portfolio, you got to think of a lot of things. I mean, that's $795 out of your pocket before you get this card. I mean, sure, you can try to use all these credits and you can get some really good value. What if you end up not being able to use those credits halfway through the year because something happens and you would rather have the cash at that point? There's a lot of things that this card does that is very good. It is very good overall. I'm not going to knock it at all because it has super solid earnings rates, and for the most part, the credits are really useful. I mean, the travel credits are, you can earn the annual fee back pretty quickly, and then you got the StubHub credit, you have the DoorDash credits, the Lyft credits, the dining credits. All that can be really, really nice for the right person. For the right person, this card can make a lot of sense because it can save you a lot of money. For the person that is traveling a lot, eating out a lot, and can happen to eat at these restaurants that are listed on the reserved tables, happen to go to sporting events a couple times a year, happen to be booking fancy enough hotels to be able to use the edit credit, because by the way, with the edit credits, you only have high-end hotels. What this card is built for, this card is built for the luxury traveler. Before this card got refreshed, you were able to make it by with the $550 annual fee and the $300 travel credit as a not 100% luxury traveler. It wasn't such a big upfront cost that would limit a lot of people from having the card. But now that it's $795, the Sapphire Reserve now is designed to really distinguish the luxury traveler versus the casual traveler. The Sapphire Reserve has those the edit credits. Those are designed to be used at $500 a night or more hotels for multiple nights twice a year. Casual traveler is probably not using that. Everything else the casual traveler can use, but then again, you go back to the points boost that has changed. The casual traveler is probably not booking business and first class to get the full 2 cents per point in value when it comes to redeeming through the travel portal. They are probably booking on a budget so that they can enjoy the experience without having a lot of money out there. It's really interesting to see how this card has completely changed from what it was and really has elevated itself into a premium travel credits card. I think if you do a decent amount of luxury travel, this card can be for you. If you don't do any luxury travel, I would probably stay away from it. You can save the money up front and use that for a plane ticket, use that for a couple nights at a hotel. And then there's those that are in the middle. Those that are in the middle, it's going to come down to what your lifestyle activities are. If you can really take advantage of the lifestyle credits, the dining credits, stuff like that, to where you don't really have to depend on the edit credits to make up for your annual fee, then yeah, this card's going to be great because it's got great earnings rates. If not, I'd look to get some other card where there's a lower annual fee and you don't have to worry about all these lifestyle credits that you have to take advantage of. This card is the epitome of being a subscription type card, and this is honestly where all the credit cards are going to end up going over the next couple years, unfortunately, because it's better for the banks because a lot of people don't use all the credits, so they do make money on that side. Overall, I'm going to wrap things up. What do you think of the values I gave to the credits? What do you think of my thoughts? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you could hit that like and subscribe button, it would be greatly appreciated. Until next time, have a great day.